Greetings everyone, welcome to a brand new series, and I'm going to be covering artists and their fantastic artwork in this one. And I so graciously got permission to cover Shiuk's stuff, Shiuk Salamander. I don't know how to pronounce that name properly. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it okay, but this is a fantastic artist that I really like. And I'm very glad to be able to cover his content today. Now, I will be covering 20 pieces, and there might be some issues here. I don't know what's up. Some of these images look weird. I might have the originals in the video by the time I uploaded it to PH, but on YouTube we might be stuck with these scuffed photos. So, I don't know what the deal is, but let's just get right into it. First image we have is Sunblock. Now let's take a look at this. Now, I really like the color choices here. I think the pink goes very well with that character. And I like these poses, especially that very stiff tail going on there. It's very fun. And I am a sucker for red-eyed characters. Now I guess that's like a lab rat or something. But yeah, no, I really like the anatomy on this one. The characters are very distinct, very interesting. And I think Shiuk is very good at coming up with interesting characters and choosing very vibrant colors that work very well together and getting expressive emotions. So, very fun, very playful. We get, we kind of get the deal between these two characters in this first image, and it's very wholesome, very cute. Very pretty. So let's move on to the next one. It is simply called Colors. So let's give this one a look. And oh, these are very stylish characters here. I really like the glasses on the one on the left. I really like these magenta eyes. I'm not perfect with colors, but I think that looks kind of magenta-y or like pinkish. Very, very striking eye color, so it works really well. I'm guessing red, actually, now that I'm looking at the actual colors. I guess their eye color matches the towels. Now, the towels do look a bit flat, but that is in the background, so you'd expect the backgrounds to have a bit less work in them. This is kind of a simplistic looking background, so it doesn't draw our attention away from the foreground characters who are the focus, so it is absolutely acceptable, because I didn't even notice that these backgrounds were so simplistic, and yeah, no, it works well. Yeah, the left one is my favorite again. I love his pose there. Very playful pose, very nice glasses, and yeah, I wish I could get these lines in my art, like these really confident lines. It goes to show you the amount of experience this artist has. Because, yeah, everyone pretty much improves with enough practice, so enough mindful practice, and I know Shiuk is a very hardworking artist, so that's great. Next one is the gun show, and I think this is a part of 3 pieces, a series of 3 pieces. They're each kind of sketchy. I really like them though, so I included all 3. I really like this character. Again, I like the color usage for the clothing. I think the pink color kind of is striking. There's a lot of striking colors that pull our attention to them. And these characters, they really pull off these bright, confident colors that you don't often see in art, you know? But this first one's pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. Second one's called Prowling. I guess this character's a wolf. That is one thing I couldn't tell, really. Knew it was like a canine of some sort, but there's a bit of artistic liberty. A lot of people draw wolves differently, so I didn't actually know this was a wolf, but now that I do, it works. Looks a bit more dog-like, but I digress. I really like this angle here. this angle gives a lot of intimacy to the drawing, I think. And I really like the expression with the eyebrows and the eyes and stuff. People say my expressions are my strong suit, but I don't know, I think I kind of struggle with them. I don't have the line confidence, as I once said. Not a big fan of the hair. The hair. I guess that is just fur that's grown longer. So that's actually acceptable. That's a nitpick. That was like a nothing. I don't know why I brought it up. Last one is tight fit for this one. And yeah, this looks like our first scuffed image. I don't know what happened here, but there's like a weird effect going on, like right in the middle. So I feel like I'm going to be a bit unfair on this one. I don't want to tear this apart because it looks great outside of that weird glitch in the middle. So very nice perspective shot, very interesting, and very, yeah, I don't know, what's the term I'm looking for? This is like a pose I wouldn't go for, because it looks very difficult. You have fabric stretching and stuff, and it takes a good understanding. Again, it helps that this is a sketch. Shading would be a nightmare on something like this, but it is very well done. I do quite like this one. Welcome to the party. Let's see this. And this one's very blurry. It's like someone just spilled Vaseline on this image. So I don't know, this one's a bit scuffed. But I do find this interesting. I do think that is Shiuk's character himself there. And this seems like a very playful image. There's an interaction between these two characters. I don't know who that other character is, but I don't know, they seem to be playing some sort of game or something, and this seems like a very fun, cute, wholesome image. So let's go on to the next one. Mistletoe question. Where should Ben be holding the mistletoe? Now, Ben is a character I really like. You'll see him pop up a few times in this art. And, yeah, I think he popped up earlier, actually, but I just really like this character, so I included him quite a few times here. A lot of representation, a very common character for Shiuk to draw. I think it might be his best character, if not just one of his best characters. So, yeah, very fun, very cute, very interesting character, I'll say. This is a bit late for a Christmas piece, but I digress, it still works. A second kiss. It seems most people wanted the mistletoe here instead. And I can't really tell, because, again, this seems like a scuffed image. There's like, I don't know, there's some sort of blur effect going on down there. I don't know. But, again, I really like this character. Very, very nice use of colors, very good line work, and very playful, you know? You get a good look in into the personality of these characters, and that's one thing I think great artists really, really stand out for above anything else, really. So XXXXXL underwear. Let's check this out. Could really pitch a tent with these. Now, I don't see them going camping. They appear to be in some sort of a locker room. But I do, again, like how these characters are interacting. I could see these two being in like a comic of some sort. I don't know if Shiuk does comics. I think he does. But yeah, I really like to see these characters interacting. Again, very different characters. This character is way bigger than that other character. I don't know what that other character is. Yeah, again, I can't really tell what the character's species are, besides the rat. So, I think that's some sort of feline of some sort. I could be completely wrong, though. But, yeah, quite an interesting character. Quite a fun dynamic here. So let's go on to Kissing Boys. Now let's see this. Very, very cute image. This is probably the most intimate one yet, even. So, and it doesn't really look that scuffed. You know, I think there is a mild mild error down there, but I don't know, we'll just look past this, because I'm not even sure how I noticed that, but one thing I will note, again, the backgrounds are a bit, like, they kind of let this drawing down a bit. I do like the glow effect. I think the glow effect is fine. It's subtle enough that it, like, works to the drawing, but the water itself leaves a little to be desired. With how bright that water is, I'd expect reflections or something. I know that's a lot more work. Well, actually, it wouldn't be that much work because it's cropped at the bottom here, so there'd actually be very minimal reflections, but I don't know, with the water being very bright, I can see the attempt there, and I imagine if Shiuk did water more often, it would look a lot better, because this is kind of how my water looks when I tried the same sort of technique. But again, very interesting thing going on with fabric, with the clothing and stuff. Very challenging sort of interactions being attempted here and being pulled off successfully, I would say. So very good, very nice. Steamy. Now, oh, this is another one with Shiuk's character, but with a different build, and I actually like this. I kind of prefer the muscular look. I think it suits his character more, or it's at least more intriguing, because you'd kind of expect a salamander to be, like, kind of small and weak. So it kind of subverts expectations, and it's pretty interesting. And the steam seems to have scuffed the image a bit. It's kind of weird. In that, of all spots, it's, like, really blurry. I don't know what's going on there. It looks like a bit pinkish too. That's a bit weird, but yeah, no, fun, like, sort of low angle pose actually. Shiuk seems to really like the dynamic shots from time to time, but yeah, very nice. Yeah, I'll just move on to the next one. This one kind of speaks for itself. Very good anatomy. White Thong, another wolf. This one looks more wolf-like, I think. I think I could guess that it's a wolf. The snouts, I think, are a bit short. I think that's what's throwing me off a little bit. The faces are very fluffy. I don't know. They don't really look wolf-like. They look more person-like. I don't know. It's like some sort of uncanny valley. I could be completely wrong. You guys could be completely disagreeing with me here. But I really like this pose. He looks very friendly. I like the smile. This is just sort of a feel-good drawing. It's very cute. And I do like those digitigrade paws. I like how those are pulled off. I really struggle with drawing those sorts of feats, but I do think that's the way to go. I do think it's more visually appealing. It's a bit uncanny valley to get plantigrade feet. And for those of you who don't know, plantigrade means you, like, stand on your heels. Digitigrade means you stand on the digits of your feet. So, like, your toes. Hence digitigrade. So dogs are digitigrade because they stand on their digits. Well, we don't need a science lesson here. Let's move on to the next image. You get what I'm saying, though. Messieurs. Oh, we just get a big eggplant emoji here. Okay, that's a bit odd. I feel like that's like someone trolled me or something. Someone edited this. That's a bit weird. I actually like the sketchwork in the back. I know this is kind of weird. Like, I'm kind of talking about not really the main focus of the art here, but I like how it's sort of a work in progress. You have this main character you're supposed to focus on, that's Ben. Fully colored, shaded, got light going on. I guess he's not fully colored. This foot is a bit flat. But the bits of focus have the most detail. You go out a bit, and you have, like, sort of the side characters here. And they have simplistic, flat colors, but really good, like, line work. But then you have these ones in the background who are still just sketches, and I especially like this one in the top left, where he doesn't even have facial features besides these two cartoonish eyes. And something about that just tickles me pink. It's just kind of funny. Very... I don't know, it's just a very nice image, and I found it interesting how the work in progress was handled. And I think it actually kind of works as a complete image for that reason. Because the further you go into the background, the less detail you get, which is the way it should be. Yeah, your attention's drawn to the correct places, so... Again, let's move on to the next one. Again, I didn't really plan any of this. This is my first episode of this, so it might be a bit awkward, might be a bit stilted. I apologize if you've held out this far and you're not impressed with how I've been handling this, but I hope you guys enjoy it. Selfie with the Champ is the next one. Let's check this out. A bunch of squeakers. Squeakers. Commemorate the first gold medal with a selfie. It was a big challenge for him. Let's actually read this description. That could be useful. I read from a tutorial that I should stop zooming in to a drawing while sketching, so I decided to try it. That is something I've done recently. You could see that in my previously uploaded video. The result, a big confidence boost with my sketching, as it required a finer brush size than I would normally use for sketching. Though it did make me realize that a larger tablet or display tablet would come in handy, as it's difficult to have line confidence since it required small hand movements to do some details. I certainly look forward to doing more sketches with this rule in mind. So yeah, Shiuk's definitely trying some good techniques out. I've actually heard of that one. I'm trying that one lately, and this looks very nice. And yeah, it's a good like tutorial piece, but you can tell the lines are actually less clean than usual, which is to be expected if you're trying a different technique. And I think if Shiuk did this more often as sort of a challenge, he'd pick up good habits, and you know, his art would get better. And I've been following Shiuk for a long time. His art has gotten a lot better over the years, you know. So yeah, I'm very impressed. I'm glad to see Shiuk trying new things. And this is a very cute drawing. I really love the eyes on these characters. They're incredibly expressive. The open smile's great. Mouth shapes are very hard for me to get, so I'm very impressed. And this is a lot of characters interacting. I especially like the one on the left. That's a very fun pose going on there, and I think Shiuk's nailed it perfectly here. And the anatomy is very good. The characters are very distinct. And I think Shiuk has a very good grasp on both anatomy and size, because I think there's a good consistency in keeping the characters to scale and keeping the proportions well. And that's something I need to try, especially with this foreshortened arm here, taking the selfie. Yeah, very good perspective here. Now, I'm not an art connoisseur or anything, but my brain's telling me that looks right. It should be doing that. And if I were to draw this same thing without this as a reference, I would really struggle with that especially. It would just look wrong. It would take me 10 hours to get that looking okay. So let's move on to the next one. To the Backroom. Okay. Ooh, this is very dark. This is very different in style. I do like it though. I really like the use of colors here. Purple and red are kind of unconventional, but they do make sense because they're sort of very close to each other on the color wheel. Normally you'd go with complementary colors. Normally I'd expect orange and blue are the big ones to do this sort of thing where you have one color lighting one side and another color lighting the other. But for like a red theme, I think this works really well. And I'm just noticing the character has one red eye, one purple eye. So that's a really neat way to do it, you know? That's a really really interesting, and it is appealing to the eye. It does look a bit dark. It's hard to make out some details, but very interesting, very different, and I'm glad to see Shiuk branching out and trying different things, because I don't see a lot of art that's very dark like this in general, actually. Most of it's very vibrant. Bulgy Bun? Okay, let's see what this one is. Oh, okay, this one's just a portrait. Looks like this character's at the beach. It's summertime. It's very hot, you know, very hot time. We had very hot weather recently, actually. It was pretty nasty. We went up to like 39 degrees here. Somewhere in Canada, it was like 49 and a whole town burnt down. Hundreds died. That was a bit tragic. Sorry to bring the mood down, but I'm not a big summer person, but I like seeing it in art, you know, it's just a personal preference. I don't like temperature. You'd never see me out here, but you'd see many of my characters out here. The beach is a very common setting for my drawings. Seems like Shiuk does the same too, but very nice looking, aesthetically pleasing character. Again, very nice use of colors. The lighting's very warm. Everything sort of goes well. I like this shine, you know, this subtle shine to the character. It's done really well. Shine is very hard starting out, so it takes someone who's experienced to really make it pop. And I'm not quite at this level yet. I'd like to be, and I'm trying to be. But yeah, very nice, very nice. Goodbye, summer. That's what I'm saying now. And, oh, very interesting. A lot of different things here. This is becoming a theme. A lot of different things being tried in different drawings. And I'm just going to bring your attention over to this inflatable orca, I think it is. Because there's transparency going on. And this is very creative. And I'm pretty sure I know how Shiuk did it. There's multiple layer groups going on, I think. I think Shiuk uses Photoshop, which I don't use, so I'm going to explain this in Krita terms, which is different, but it's something I know. If I wanted to do this in Krita, I would go with layer groups, and this whale would be two separate layer groups. One for the opaque bits and one for the translucent bits. In the translucent bits, you'd simply just lower the opacity of that layer group. And then you could place the opaque bits that you can even see through the translucent bits where they should go. And then you would create an additional layer within that layer group to do your shading. So I think that's what's been done here. And it's very effective. And then, of course, you'd probably do... Actually, no, he hasn't done this, but what I would have done for the shiny bits, I would have done a separate layer and put in, like, full opacity, full white, just, like, subtle, like, little bits. And he's kind of done a similar thing, but it's not at full white and not at full opacity. I think that could just be pushed a bit more to make it pop more. But it is very nice. A lot of translucency going on in this image, and I'm very impressed by the shirt. There must have been a very good reference used there, or something, because that's just, my brain is telling me that's how it would look. And again, I think you would use layer groups for that, but I think you would set the opacity to full this time around. You'd create a new layer in that layer group, set it to erase mode, and then you'd use like an airbrush, I think. Either an airbrush to erase bits of it to make it come through where it's wet and clinging to the surface of the body. And yeah, I think that's what I would do. That would at least be the first thing I would try. There are multiple ways to do that, I believe, but that's a good way to do it. I think there's a bit of consistency with the erasure, though, so I think it might just be a flat, like, erase layer, but with the opacity lowered, so it only erases maybe 50% or something. Or actually, it's probably erasing 80% there. That looks like an 80% erase, but yeah, very nice. That's something I do quite a bit too, but just because I like the look of that and I like flexing that I can do that sort of thing. I can't do it that well though. Shiuk's just flexing on me. Tries it once, or maybe. Might have tried it thousands of times for all I know. But from what I can tell, tries it once, nails it. Now, oh, this next one. this next one's kind of cute. We got a different pose, got a back pose. Yeah, again, with the clothing pulling, very... I think I noticed a mistake here. I think I do notice a mistake with this one, but it is still impressive that there is this attempt to be made for these very creative poses and these very creative gestures. But I think the mistake I'm noticing here, if I... Whoa, okay, I meant to zoom in. Is that this bit of the clothing that's being pulled, you should see another bit of that coming back to the body. But it isn't unless it's at a perfect angle where it's blocked by the front bit. But that's a bit of a nitpick. I do really like this drawing. It's very nice, very, very cute. Different character too, so... Yeah, Shiuk's very good with the characters. I'm sure some of these have been other people's characters. I think I saw names at the bottom left of an earlier one. That's going to be someone else's character. I don't own the rights to any of these characters, of course. And yeah. Okay, that's a simple enough title. Let's see. Oh, okay. We've actually got a detailed background here. This is one of the more recent pieces. I think it kind of shows. I really like what's going on here. There's like a sort of it's not the most detailed drawing of all time, but it is very aesthetically pleasing. It's very well planned out, and the background is actually quite what's the word I'm looking for? It's like not simple. It's not like a basic background. It's got some perspective to it. You know, you have to actually think about where you're putting things. You got the translucency, though it's a bit low risk, you know. There's not a lot going on in the outside world there, but I think that's fine. Again, it doesn't pull our attention away. That would be a big problem. I do like how the painting's very minimalistic. Again, as you go into the background, the detail should get lesser and lesser. Like, this character is more or less a silhouette in the background. So, yeah. With toony stuff, that's something you have to keep in mind. The stuff in the front, if it looks toony, it's already simpler than reality, of course. But if you go further into the background, you should simplify further. That way you don't pull the attention away from the foreground. Because even toony art has to apply to basic real-world logic, you know? And this one does a great job of that, so I quite like it. He likes the compliments. Oh, I really like this character. You don't see a lot of walrus characters, so I think this is the only one I can think of. Period. So, I really like that neckerchief. It's very, yeah, very interesting character. And now, how I do sort of anthro characters, I guess, is I'll draw like a very human body. I think this is very common, or at least I'm drawn to art that does this same thing. I'll draw a very human body and I'll just plop a very animalistic head on top and then add animal features from there. And this is done very well here, you know? I think Shiuk had very good references here. And with the references, I think it would be very hard to find someone this, like, actually bulky. So I imagine you'd get someone who's got, like, a swimmer body or something who's doing this sort of pose. You'd sort of sketch that, and then you'd try to bulk up the muscles around that, I think. I think that's how I would do it. I have done that sort of thing before, because it's hard to find references in the correct pose. But you have to keep in mind there are limitations to what kind of spaces you can get into. As the muscles get bigger, you lose, like, flexibility. But it works here. It does look a bit bulky, but it all in all, it looks like it works here. My brain's telling me that maybe the arms are a bit cramped as a result of the bulking up, but for the most part, there's enough space here for it to work. So, yeah, no, I really like this drawing. All of these have been fantastic. I think this is the last one. Yeah, we're back to the start. So that was the last one. That was great. I don't know how long this took. 30 minutes, that's twice as long as I was expecting. But that was a lot of fun. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And I encourage you to look up Shiuk and check him out, follow him, maybe even subscribe to his Patreon, because it's great to have people support you for your art. And I'd like to make this series sort of about that, because I'd like to make a living off of art eventually. So it's just nice to point out good artists and sort of give them positive feedback and stuff. And just a fantastic artist. I hope I can find more who agree to this sort of video in the future. It's been a lot of fun doing this. And if you want to support me, make sure to hit the subscribe button. If you liked the video, be sure to hit the like button. You know the whole shebang. Anyways, guys, stay salty, and I'll catch you on the flip side.